Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That's today on our Show Don't Tell series. It's all about mirrors. Yes, and we're going to do a little bit of reflecting. Hi, I'm Autumn Bardot, and here you will find writing tips, author tools, and hopefully some inspiration for your writing and living your best writing life. And I've got a really long series, and it's all showing, not telling, and how to do that with color and objects and all kinds of things. So it's going to be a very long series. Okay, so let's dish about mirrors. Mirrors are symbolic of many things, like vanity and truth, clarity, awareness, illumination, or distortion. Mirrors can reflect one's soul. It's a mental instrument. I like that. A mental instrument, and reflects the universe, but also allows us to observe ourselves in that universe, which is definitely really cool. Now, does your character look in the mirror? Do they glance at it, gaze at it, primp in it? It can say a whole lot about the character, show a whole lot about the character instead of telling it. I don't need to say that the character is vain, only that every time they see the reflection, they do a little primp. The other day I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for my hubby to come out of, I don't know, I think it was a hardware store. And I saw a young woman like a couple spots over, okay, sitting in her car, and she was looking into the visor of the passenger seat. And yeah, I stared at her. She made some kissy lips, and you know, those duck lips, and she fussed with her hair, and she put on her lipstick, and then she put on the gloss, and then I think she did it a few more times. Then she fussed with her hair again. She leaned in to look at her face. She was doing this kind of thing. I would say for a good 7 to 10 minutes. I have never spent that much time looking at myself in the rear view mirror. Wow. So she was very, very made up. It was perfection. I could even see from a couple cars over. Face full of makeup. And as I was looking at her, I thought, girlfriend, you are really vain, or really insecure, or really shallow, or maybe all of those things. Did she see the truth in her appearance? Is that why she was fussing so much with it? Did she like what she saw? I'm assuming she didn't, which is why she fussed so much with it. Your character looking into a mirror or at their reflection can really reveal a lot about them if you choose to do it that way, if you choose to show it that way. Now, that car mirror, that rear view mirror, it's pretty small, which gave her a very small view of herself, right? You're only getting like parts. I don't think you can get your whole face in that car rear view mirror, which is important because she's looking at bits and parts, not her whole self. So when your character is looking into a mirror, are they looking at a rear view mirror? Are they looking at a very long floor to ceiling mirror? Because that's going to make you see yourself differently, make the readers see what you've written differently. How is the whole body reflected? Does your character see the whole them? This woman obviously focused on bits and parts of her face in the rear view. She would have to do this to see everything, right? What kind of view, how would she felt if she could have seen the whole self? If I could have reflected her gazing at the mirror, would she have had a different view or understanding of herself? So I guess my point to all this is yes, Yes, the size of the mirror can matter if you want to make it matter. Another thing to consider with mirrors is what is not reflected in the mirror. And I'm not talking vampires behind you waiting to bite your neck. But is there something off to the side? Like, what's over there? This isn't a mirror, but it's kind of the same because I am staring at myself while I talk to you, right? There's the lens, and then this thing flaps open and I can see myself, right? I try not to look at it. I try to look in there, but sometimes, you know, you got to look and see if your hair's okay while you're doing videos, right? So what is off to the side over here? It's actually a door, and it's pretty close to me. What's just beyond over there? It's an open closet stacked with all my crafty stuff. What's behind it? A desk. And, oh, that doesn't look good. That would be my ironing board with a stack of clothes to be ironed. So, but this behind me, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. Doesn't show you the whole room though. So, is there something off to the side, above or below or beyond that mirror that you want to show what is reflected back? Okay. What or who else is reflected in the mirror? For example, have you ever walked with those really huge mirrors in a fancy hotel and in the lobby? Normally they're in the lobby or by, I don't know, like the elevators, and you think, wow, look at me in this fancy place. And you see the whole space and you see what others see. And you either go, damn, I look pretty good. Or like, that doesn't look so good. Or, I need to stand up straight. Or, who is that old woman? Looking also, if the character's looking into the mirror, what is reflected right behind them? This wall, this is a bookcase, right? So that is one bit of your setting. But will you, in your book, have it reflect or show something about the character's personalities or their struggles or life anyway? Would there be a painting of a stern grandparent or loved one back there that is somehow over them as they're staring at themselves? So this grandparent is symbolically, metaphorically, symbolically, however you want to make it, looking over their shoulder, because that's the feel it's going to give if you write that in. Can you make use of the background image in a way that shows the character's emotion, mood, personality, struggles, the setting, or their conflict, or troubles? I think I said that. Another thing about mirrors, is the mirror clean or smeared? Do they rub away the condensation to see the truth about themselves? Do they blow on it to fog the mirror and distort it? Is the mirror really, really old, vintage, or antique? Because that will give a different feel or appearance, especially if it's a modern person looking in an antique mirror. What are you really looking into? Your history of struggles, family history of struggles. And another thing about really old antique mirrors, and if you have one, you know what I'm talking about. They look aged. They are not perfectly clear. They have a bit of a, I don't want to say a distortion, but it's not like a fresh new mirror. So if that's the mirror they look into, what is old, vintage, distorted, outdated about the setting or the conflict or their personality or the struggles or, you know, whoever mirror that happens to belong to? Now let's look at the mirror's frame. See, I told you we were going deep into mirrors. Is the frame old, antique, ornate, modern, minimalist? And what do you want that to say about the character or the conflicts or the setting or any of that? There is a scene in Equilibrium where they have to go find things of beauty and destroy them in their perfect society of no emotion. And they walk into a house because they got a hot tip. They walk into a house and there's a beautiful, beautiful gold ornate mirror. And they say, nope, you can't have that. And they destroy it. Why? beauty must be destroyed. So the mirror there is very significant. And then they actually use that mirror as he looks at himself destroying beauty, which is very interesting. Is the frame expensive, costly, or cheap? And how does that part of the setting show a character's personality or any other part of what you want to show? Remember, it's always conflict and struggles and emotion and worldview and all of that. Do you want that to show something? Is the mirror industrial or utilitarian? Is that like your character or not like your character? Is the frame painted over, chipped, or broken? And does that show anything about the character's personality, emotions, conflict, or the setting? Does the mirror hang crooked? If the mirror is hanging crooked and you're making it hang crooked, why did you add that detail? What's really crooked? Is the person who looks in it crooked? Is the society itself crooked? The family, the place that is hanging the crooked mirror? What's off or crooked? Does the character attempt to adjust this crooked mirror? Does it stay in place or does it just go back and be off balance or crooked? Does the character keep trying to adjust it? That can show or reveal character. If there's a painting in your house or anything that you're hanging and it's always crooked, do you always go up and adjust it? Which seems to me that you're going to be pretty diligent about fixing things in small details, or maybe you're neurotic. Once again, it's up to you how you're going to portray that. Or is it crooked and the character is just like, whatever, I'm not fixing it. Maybe that's foreshadowing something they can't fix, or a bigger picture, it's too small of a detail for them to want to fix. Once again, the details you add in that you show the character doing will help your reader get a better handle on the characters. Is it a funhouse mirror? Is it warped? Is it meant to deceive? And what does the character see about themselves when they look into that distorted, warped mirror? How do they view or regard their body, their face, and their expression? Have you ever caught a reflection of yourself, like you're walking by a store and you caught a reflection of yourself in the glass, and it takes a minute, and you take a minute to realize it's you? What was your first thought? What was your character's, if your character does that? I haven't done that a few times. It's kind of freaky cool. Sometimes I've walked by and go, why is this old woman hunched over? Oh my God, that's me. Or sometimes I walk by and go, damn, that woman looks awesome. Hey, that's me. I think the first one is more likely. What was your first feeling? How did you feel? What was going on? And for your character, what do you want to portray for them when they first glance and realize they didn't know it was them? What if your character has a hard time looking in a mirror? What are they really afraid to face? What are they really afraid to see the truth of? I've used mirrors several times in my novels, and it's always to show characterization, something about them, a deeper introspection. But here's the thing about mirrors that's so cool. Mirrors can lie, and mirrors can also tell the truth. How are you going to use them? For both? For neither? For one? As a prop? Which is pretty cool. They lie and they tell the truth. An interesting way when you're writing and you've got that mirror scene in there. Or remember, those things that you choose them to do, look in a mirror, can help you add depth and nuance and layers and context to what you want your readers to feel, to imagine, to think about. And that can help with your plot and your setting and your characterization and conflict and all of those things. Maybe the mirror is just a mirror, and you're using it as a plot device, and that's okay. But maybe you want that mirror to say a little bit more. And will your readers pick up on it? Maybe not intellectually, but you know what? I've said this before. We feel it. You know, you're reading for fun, for pleasure. You're not thinking analytically. But when you read it that way, you feel it. You go, oh, such an old mirror that they're looking into that's a bit distorted. That can't be good. See you next week. Until then, dream into the looking glass of your mind. Create the illuminated truth. And embrace the reflection of writing. And hey, if you haven't already, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media. And I will see you next week for another fun show don't tell. Bye-bye.